is going on, Secondhand Talent family? It is Steiner here with the season 3 finale. Thank you all so much for tuning in. With me is Brian Christian Adam, aka the Endeavorist. First, real quick, I just want to thank you to this week's episode sponsor, Sweet Buzz. More about them in a little bit. Thank you to Tenacious Toys for providing all the lovely desk candy. And thank you so much to all of our seasoned guests, past and present and future, and all of our listeners and all of our watchers on platforms all over. We would not be here without you guys. We have so much coming up that I'm so excited to share with you, that Steiner and I both are so excited to share with you all. But all of that will come later down the line. Just wanted to say thanks. But like I said, with me, we have Brian Christian Adam, the Endeavorist, a multifaceted asset to the secondhand talent community here in Illinois. Brian, welcome to the show, buddy.
Oh, thank you for having me.
It's a
Very
ple
much appreciated.
it's a pleasure having you here, my man. It's great to have you for the season finale. We have a whole bunch of stuff to talk about, of stuff that's happening, around the time, not at the time of this recording, at the time this episode's gonna air. We've got, so much to talk about. But first, as always, and for the final time this season, we're gonna ask our question that we open every show with. I like that you're warming up. When you first heard the term secondhand talent, what did that mean to you?
All right, I'm going to take a stab at this. And I kind of wrote this out. We are a myriad collection of behind the scenes humans in the entertainment industry. We came together to produce the best experience for those on stage and off. We are part of the whole that you rarely see.
I fucking love that. I'm gonna sound we're
That's it.
gonna yes, my
Thanks, man.
dude.
I was nervous about that, but you know,
It's so
it's the truth.
one of the things I love so much about every interview that I do is getting to ask that question, because even as we've gotten, from all the way April 5th of last year when our first episode aired, to now, every time I ask that question, I've asked it 60 times now.
Wow. That's awesome.
And I get a different answer every time, whether it's from someone who already knows about the show, whether it's from someone who heard it for the first time. And it's really great to hear really an encapsulation of what secondhand talent are. They are, the people who shine the spotlights, who each deserve a spotlight of their own.
It comes from everyone running lights or being the sound engineer on down to the person that does the social media to somebody that's just taking the money at the door. There's a huge amount of trust that's involved, not only with the musicians on stage, but with everyone that is involved. It is not an easy thing to pull off. So, from my perspective, to see it work time and time again with everything that's going on in our lives and everything that's going on in this world, it's so cool that we can all come together and be like, we're going to do this.
And that actually keys in on a really on another really important facet of secondhand talent, which is that not only are there so many cogs in the machine, there are so many of those machines. And, for every one person I interview in any given field, there are so many others in those capacities. And the, idea, one of my goals of the show is to highlight not just, the guests who are on the show and the spaces that they occupy, but those countless other individuals that also occupy those spaces, across the nation.
No, absolutely. Yeah, very true.
And, me being from, Chicago, I'm always curious, about what's going on, in the suburbs, having done a lot of work there musically myself as well. But before we get there, tell us a little bit about how, kind of you came into, the love of live music and kind of what brought you into like I said at the beginning, folks, there is a ton of, secondhand talent classifications here to get through in this interview. What was your kind of path into the kind of the let's call it the real working end of live music, actually, the side stage, behind the stage, around the stage work.
Wow, it's a very personal thing for me, and luckily I've been on a few podcasts and radio shows, and I've discussed this before, so I'm okay with talking about it. Basically, up until about 6 or 7 years ago, I wasn't doing anything with my life, like nothing. Really bad addictions to drugs. The opiate epidemic is a very serious thing. It's absolutely crazy. Not too many people get out of that, and I was
Yeah.
just fortunate to run into some really awesome musicians that were just we became friends. They taught me a few things, taught me how to run sound, how to run an open mic, but more importantly, also how to be professional, how to talk, how to do things. You can still have fun, but there's ways to go about certain things. And I took that and I ran with it, and I wanted to meet more people that I could work with. And they appreciated the fact that I did photography. So I was like, okay, well, let's see where I can take this as well. And
Sure.
people seemed to like it. They were using it for their ads and promoting themselves. So I was like, well, let's see how much farther I can take this. And it's blossomed into this huge web of uh, so many different facets, so many different things that we're going to talk about today. And I'm just extremely blessed and grateful to have all these opportunities and to work with so many amazing musicians, artists, and just amazing humans.
Well, first of all, grateful that you're here.
Oh yeah,
That's first
good
and
to be here.
first and foremost. That makes it all the better to have you on the show, truly. And it is an issue that we have talked about on the show in the past. How you know addiction really is a serious issue, not just in the country but in the industry as well.
Oh, absolutely.
And obviously existed before the current, scourge, that we currently see with, all the shit being mixed in and people dropping, and it's really, you know, I've had up close and personal experiences with it as well. Only in negative ways, of course. And I'm very grateful, that you're here on the other side of it. But eh, let me know how did learning those other functions in music help fulfill that that hole that kind of needed to be sated? Like what was it about learning things outside of the stage that gave you this kind of more complete sense of purpose?
Well, it was a dopamine rush or serotonin or norepinephrine or one of those things that
Well, yeah,
makes you happy.
sure.
It was a natural drug. Like you felt good that you did something well to the point where people thanked you, like thank you for making me sound good.
Mm,
Like that kind
mm.
of that kind of connection, or thank you for, taking this photo. Just like little tiny things like that just over time compounded, and I felt this love and warmth from the people around me, and like I said before, I just wanted to see how far I could take it, and I'm still trying to see how far I can take it.
So where did it start to take you? Like where did you first see? So you got these opportunities for you said photography, learning sound. When did those learning experiences begin to manifest practically into what you were doing career wise?
Honestly, it was kind of during the pandemic. I had been learning these things, and mind you, I was homeless at the time when the pandemic started. So
Mhm.
That was quite interesting.
So from the time of this airing, 4.5 years ish.
Yeah, four
Yeah.
and a half years. So now I'm stable. You know, that's all changed. But at the time, you know, I was meeting all these wonderful people and doing these things, but it was also very difficult for me because I didn't have a car, didn't have a place to live, didn't have a job. And now I have all those things. And it was the determination of going out there and trying to do all this, creating art and music. And what I did was during the pandemic, I had found a place to live and I just started planning. I would go online and just like, especially on social media, and just see who's doing what. Where are the passionate people at? And, and there was a lot of craziness on social media, just about all the bad stuff in the world. But then there were these collectives of people that are just like, no, like I am just going to do a live stream from my couch and play music. And like, you could just see the passion. They were just like, no, I am not going to. And it didn't matter what they believed or what their political affiliation was. They were just musicians or artists that were passionate about putting their stuff out there and helping people. And I started connecting with these people, and it took, 2 years, but once the world started opening back up, I was just like, let's do this. Where can I go? How can I do it? Do you want photos? Do you want video? Can I drum for you? What can I do?
And what were some of the first opportunities that began to open up post pandemic?
Oh,
Like, let me rephrase. What were some of the first opportunities that came up that you think back on that were kind of formative steps in the ladder to get to where you're at now?
nothing in particular. It was just my ability to, like, I did a photo shoot at Moncho's Saloon, and at that time you had to show your Vax card and you had to wear a mask and all this stuff. And there was, like the people that hired me, they just could not find anybody that was either willing to go out or willing to show the Vax card or all this stuff. And I was just like, I don't care. I just want to go out and, like,
And
let's,
do the damn
yeah.
thing.
And
Yeah.
I want it to be safe and keep people safe. But at that point, like 2.5 years in, I had pretty much had enough. And, like, I was being safe, but it was time to do something. And there was other places like Johnny's Blitz in Westmont. It's a wonderful blues bar. They'd have me come in there and run sound. It's great, and I had an opportunity to like do photos while I would run sound. And once again, they were being as safe as possible. But it was time to just move on.
So
And
what sort of timeline are we looking at here? When about was this when we're talking about you getting involved with that venue?
uh, I had been involved with them before the pandemic, so that would be 2018 to 2021. I made uh, I had a really good relationship with the owner, and he saw that I could do those things. So probably about 21,
So
22.
yeah, okay, gotcha, gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha. Um, so if I'm hearing you right, it was really just kind of, instead of any one experience, just the continuous like tenacity and pursuit to just be willing to go out and do the damn thing
absolutely,
and not, be or kind of being concerned, but also understanding that there's only, so much, so there's only so concerned you can be, and there's only so much good that will do. And if you are gonna get after it, you got to get after it.
absolutely. Yeah, I had a drive to do these things, and I put my best foot forward. I also, kind of a good segue would be, I also got hired to come and do photography for a live stream that somebody had put together, mainly due to the fact that it was the pandemic and no one can go out and see live music. And the band, The Secret Lives, they had me come out to a place called The Bunker, that they do live streams on YouTube. And I had checked it out and I was just amazed by the quality. I mean, it was like TV quality audio and video, and it was live. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I went there and realized that I never want to leave. I became really good friends with Fletch Towell. He's the guy that runs the bunker, and it's been a little over 3 years now.
We're going to hear a little bit more about the bunker right after a word about our sponsor for today's episode. What's going on, folks? Steiner. Sweet Buzz is an Illinois local edibles brand brought to you by the independent social equity craft grower Dre Cisco Farms. Sweet Buzz was born out of a deep friendship and a shared sweet tooth between the founders. Generational confectionery experience goes into all the handcrafted, fast acting edibles. Really fast acting, trust me. Sweet Buzz edibles line includes Sweet Sparks, coated chocolate candies are 1 milligram a piece. It's ultimate and flexible dosing. Sweet somethings, 10 milligram cups, peanut better, mint chill, caramel mint cookie, and cookie got cream, best flavors, as well as the sweet and powder. It's 10 milligram sachets, slightly sweet powder. We use just about anywhere. You put it in your coffee, it's wake and bake. Sweet Buzz products can be found at 100 dispensaries across Illinois, and you're coming to more every day. Follow them at Get Sweet Buzz on Instagram and TikTok.
Thank you, Danny Stein.
Yeah, thanks, Tiny Steiner. Appreciate that. Uh, Getting back to the interview, let's talk about. We'll keep that in. Fuck it. Let's talk about the bunker, though. You mentioned coming to it and falling in love with it. What is the bunker for those of our viewers who don't
So
know?
the bunker is it's a live stream on YouTube where we stream all original indie artists, mostly from Chicagoland area, but also we've had bands that are touring around the country, and we've actually had a band from the UK and Puerto Rico.
So you have live bands setting up, and you're
Yes.
doing live streams of
Yes.
original content from these bands.
All original content. Tuesdays we do acoustic acts. Thursdays we do band.
Well, links are going to be in the comments, or I mean, in the description. But like, that's like, talk about fostering secondhand talent. Like, you're like, that's like, I mean, look, yes, secondhand talent is everyone around the stage, but as we've, shown this season, especially with people like Joe Marcinek and Stormy Cromer and Joe Ray from Munyon, the bands that are doing it all themselves, their own built-in secondhand talent. And I would imagine a lot of the acts that come through the bunker, uh, fit that description.
Oh yeah. And I get to see every different level. You know, you have people that have their own merch, different kinds of merch. They do their own vinyl records. They do CDs. They do little pins, hats, all kinds of stuff. They're doing their own social media. You know, you can really tell when somebody is on their game and really trying to up their brand. Which I don't really like using that term too often, but that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build a brand around our art. I specifically choose my words carefully to not say content.
Mm,
It's
mm.
art.
You know, shameless plug, limited edition merch available for the brand Secondhand Talent at secondhandtalent.com. But I fully understand what you're saying, where in the same way that I enjoy this show. I mean, I think it's a fun show. I've mentioned to you, like I've mentioned in previous interviews, every time I have an interview, I learn something new. And uh I you know do view it far less as a brand, more so as a platform for me to have phenomenal conversations with people who do
Oh,
really interesting things. Like,
absolutely.
there's the brand aspect to it, but you're absolutely right. Like, it's not about the brand as much. It is more so about secondhand talent, and that's everybody who is gratefully on my show, including yourself.
And also shout out to Kate Ebert for introducing you
Oh
to
yeah,
me.
I
I
mean,
met her. Well, I met her through a
how the
couple different
it's
things,
how the
but
secondhand talent web grows. Kate was a guest last season. Check it out.
amazing photographer.
She shout out Kate Goobert. Find the link to her interview in the description as well. Sorry, you were saying.
No, no, just she she does something that not a lot of photographers do anymore these days, where she does actual film, and
Mm.
she's really interested in like old school cameras, and she's just very passionate about it. She actually has worked at the bunker doing one of the cameras. So thank you so very much for introducing me, and yeah.
Well, hey, listen, man. I mean, like, it's a pleasure. Like, look, providing that platform for emerging artists to be able to get exposure to an audience that they otherwise would have, no chance of necessarily grabbing. Because, look, we both know as artists, it's impossible to be in two places at the same time. And
Yeah.
as much as we need to promote ourselves, there's only so much we can do within our bandwidth, within our capacities on so many levels, without getting into details, but providing that platform, and similarly to secondhand talent, I would say, to give a platform and an audience and potentially a springboard to up and coming acts. Like I think that's, it's a really, great thing to do. And I think that kind of initiative is reflected in another one of the projects you've become involved with recently, Local Nation.
Local Nation, yeah, that has been a wonderful experience. My friend Aaron Williams, who created the Homegrown Arts and Music Festival, I think that was about 4 years ago, invited me out to do photography, and I was just amazed because once again, I'm really into original music and art, and it's an all original music and art festival,
Mm.
and had a great time. And the second year, I wanted to get more involved. Actually, played with one of my bands. I think I'm doing this timeline right. I'm not 100% sure.
Give it your best
Yeah,
shot. Yeah.
it was with JD and the Hidden Hand. No, this is correct. So the second time I did it was with JD and the Hidden Hands, and then the third year I did it last year, I ran sound with my dear friend Zachary Sonny Edwards, Mr. Frogman. Yeah, Frogman.
Shout out
Um,
Frogman.
so we ran sound. I ended up being there. I looked at my Google Maps thing, and it said I had been there for 16 hours and 37 minutes. So that was quite the day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'd say
Uh,
so. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
just running sound and playing.
Yeah.
And this year I'm doing it on a whole nother level. I'm working more with the social media aspect of it.
Mm.
We're really trying to tie it in and just promote it to no end. It's a wonderful thing. We're truly looking to elevate the artists and bring them to the next level, help them with any aspect of their music, and it's a truly wonderful experience. By the time this episode
I
airs,
was about to say, yeah, by the time this episode airs, it'll have already passed, but you'll have already seen promotion for it on the Secondhand Talent social media channels because that's what we do here at Secondhand Talent. We lift each other up. And there's going to be Homegrown Music and Arts Festival to look forward to next year as well.
absolutely.
And
Not only that, but we're branching out
oh
to
yeah,
other. Yeah. So we already did one show in Nashville. We're
all
working with
right,
our
Music
friend
City.
Arrayas. She's a Nashville transplant, and so same thing, all original music. We're down there. We're going to be there pretty much once a month, and we want to bring this. Currently, Aaron Williams is in New York. We're branching out to there, and then hopefully Austin, and then just around the country. So that's the
And
vision.
I double checked before we sat down for the interview. I actually took a look at the lineup for this year, and it did already pass. But we'll flash up a picture of it on the screen just so
Yeah.
you guys can see what the lineup was. But one of my favorite local bands, Downers Groove.
Oh, yeah. Had them on the bunker as well. They're fantastic,
Yeah,
and such a
they're
nice group of guys. And you can totally tell when a band has been playing together. for a long time. The music is just so tight
The,
and they
the,
really love each other and they're having fun, and that translates really well to the
yeah, I
audience.
just wanted, I mean, I just felt like I just really wanted to give a shout out to the Downers
Oh,
Groove
hell
guys. You
yeah.
guys rock. Links to their music in the description as well. Why not? It's my show. I can do that. Shout out you guys. You make great music. Love you.
And
I
they're
mean,
not afraid of putting a live album out. Like they record their shows and they put them out. They don't, there's no editing. It's just they do the best
no,
they can recording it and
it's
just put it out
in
there.
the true spirit, in
Yeah.
the true spirit of, how live releases, how live releases should be.
Yeah. No, they're truly awesome. I love that we both know them.
Yeah, no, they're no, they're real fantastic people. And, the idea of, first of all, I love the name play there with Local Nation. That's definitely like as, kind of punk rock as it could possibly be as far as picking a name. I enjoy that a lot. Don't I did not go over my head. And it's really um a real cool concept to really bring, area local music to the forefront. I really appreciate and enjoy that. I think it really aligns kind of with the mission of what Secondhand Talent is.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you also mentioned you do some charity work as well. Talk about that.
That's right. One of the guys I play with, JD Kostick, he had this awesome idea for a charity, and from what I remember, the backstory is there's a brewery in Woodridge called Skeleton Key Brewery, and I don't know if you guys remember, but I think it was 3 years ago. There was a terrible tornado that just ripped through
Yeah.
and destroyed the place. So they got together, a bunch of musicians got together to raise money for Skeleton Key. And once that was over, they decided to
And,
just keep it going.
what was the manifestation of that fun? Was it like a show that got put
Yeah,
on,
so it
or
was basically like like several acoustic acts, and then in between what we do is so each musician gets raffle events or raffle items. So somebody will get like a massage, or they'll get like a brewery package or a gift card from somewhere,
sure, sure, sure.
and then during the show we raffle it off.
Got you.
Yeah, so it's just
So
been.
it's a combination, like almost like festival slash like charity auction
Yeah,
type situation.
at one point
That's really cool, man. I
we
don't think
had
I've
a
ever heard of anything like that. That's
it's I think it's essential that musicians do charity work. Like I can't
Mhm.
just do it for money all the time. And we do it twice, maybe 3 times a year. We do it like in the spring and the fall, and then do a
So you got
holiday show.
so you guys kind of decided, hey, this worked, like it was
Yeah,
fun, like let's keep doing it.
let's see what we can do. And we've done it for Plainfield Pride down in at Plainfield. We did it for Allen Force, which is a veterans foundation. So we really try to tie it into the community where we're doing the event, and all the proceeds go to the charity.
Well, I mean, literally and figuratively, rock on. I
Yeah.
mean, that's it's a great it's just a great thing to be doing. But I kind of want to get back to something you just mentioned, that about all musicians should do charity work. I'm curious where that perspective comes from. I mean, from my own personal, you know, experience, a lot of events that I've run or produced, especially early on in my career, were fundraisers in one form or another, and that's kind of how I wet my teeth and wound up getting into the nonprofit industry. Later on in my career. Very curious as to like, the mentality going into this and why you feel that it's such a compelling thing that musicians, artists dedicate themselves to.
Uh, we're I feel the necessity to give back to the community that gives to me.
Mm,
So if somebody's willing to come out to your show, They're willing to uh, spend their hard-earned money on a couple of drinks and some food, and also their time to come out. It's essential, no pun intended with the non-essentials. It's essential to give back to that community and just be like, this isn't for us. This is for everyone.
You know, last season, one of my biggest pleasures in this experience, secondhand talent so far, I had the opportunity to interview Ellis Goddard, CEO of Mockingbird Foundation. They provide grants for music education across all 50 United States. And it's really great message, I think, that, not even, necessarily just musicians, but like we all have our part to play. And I think one of the really cool things, about what you do, that you mentioned to me off camera that I'd like to bring up now is the diversity of organizations that you contribute to. That it's not just like a specific uh, you know type of organization or fund, but it's causes across the spectrum.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's very humbling to do these things. Um, and I don't feel that people that just work like a 9 to 5 job, I don't feel like they get to experience these things. So any which way we can give back is very important.
What's been one of the causes that you've supported that has been kind of, really near and dear to your heart, to your experience? Or more than one, but any one in particular that stands out?
Honestly, all of them. We part of it is we get to know the charities on a one-to-one basis. It's not just giving money to one foundation. It's literally like they come out and we hang out with them and we see the kindness and compassion that they have in their heart, and that just it's a unique experience. Just like somebody asked me the other day, like, what is your favorite act that you're going to see at Homegrown? And I said all of them because
Mm,
truly,
yeah.
it's like asking a parent what their favorite kid is. And truthfully, I want to.
Mom, Dad, don't answer that. We
Yeah,
all
don't it?
we all know who she is. No, I have one sister.
Well, so it's her, yeah.
No spoilers.
But seriously, like it for me,
No,
it
yeah,
really
yeah.
is. Yeah, it really is all of them.
I mean, that's
Because why are we doing this if we're not doing it for the love of humans getting together and doing human things?
what I've found in my interview experience is that people who genuinely off the cuff come up with that answer really love what they do. I had the distinct pleasure of interviewing Maor Applebaum earlier this season. Check out season 3, episode 18. The Apple Falls Close with Maor Applebaum. He's artist. He is a record masterer who's worked with Faith No More, Judas Priest, Meatloaf, Yngwie Malmsteen, like an incredible range of incredible artists. And I asked him, who was your favorite artist to work with? And he had a similar answer. He said, all of them, because and I'm paraphrasing here. Sorry, more. Slicha. But he said every artist that I work with brings something musically to the table that I may have not experienced before. And getting to immerse myself in that artistic vision is part of the reward of the job that I do, in fine tuning their songs. And it's that kind of sounds like it's that same kind of parallel with you and with the work you're involved in. It's clear to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, that it's not, you know, any particular charity. It's that you just have the opportunity to support a multitude of causes through this avenue, and that's it.
Absolutely. And we're constantly trying to to get better at it? Like what can we do to bring more people out? What can we do to find a charity that's more involved, or just like what can we do? How can we change things? How can we be better at making music?
And another thing, you know, that it's kind of a recurrent thing, but to bring it to the charity aspect of it, the locality, the hyper locality, so to speak, of it. Oh, you know, work with, you know, as you mentioned, the communities that support your events. That I think is incredibly key because, you know, again, you know, getting back to earlier in our conversation where we talked about, you know, the guests being emblematic of, you know, all of their counterparts throughout the nation, you know, there are local efforts like these that are doing genuinely good work uh to to make this kind of stuff happen. It's a matter of seeking them out. You know, we can only highlight so many on this platform, but you know, there's a lot of people doing a lot of really good work out there, and one of the best ways to get involved is, and you know, a common thread in all of the things you've discussed from the bunker to local nation to your charity work to even your photography is this sense of hyper locality and you know loyalty to the people that support your efforts, and I think that that's commendable.
Thank you. Yeah, loyalty is a big thing that sometimes is lacking in our society. And some people might have a negative connotation to the term loyalty. Like,
Yeah, talk about what you mean when because I think we're on the same wavelength, but for the benefit of our viewers and listeners, you know, when you talk about loyalty, you know, in the context of as I mentioned, the loyalty to the people in whose neighborhoods you hold events and in whose neighborhoods the charities exist that you support. What is that loyalty to you?
I loyalty and trust.
Mm.
People trust us to show up at a certain time. People trust us to bring certain equipment, to act in a certain manner, to provide. Uh, this is this is a hard one for me. Sorry.
Hey, no, you know what? Listen,
Uh,
to take it's more important, you know. I mean, it shows the gravity of it to you, which I think,
Trust is a big thing.
yeah.
I think that we can do more as human beings if we all trusted each other more, not only just with music and art, but also with our feelings, to be able to tell somebody how you feel and why you feel that way. Because, like when you're doing entertainment, you have to be on at that moment. But
Sure.
but what if you had a bad day? What if you have a cold? Like, what can I do for you? Can I make you a cup of tea? How can I help you? How can I help you be ready for this? And a lot of it is it's trust. They trust me to care about them, and they also care about me.
You know, I think you know, it makes me reflect on a lot of experiences, you know, I've had as a teacher, but I really always, you know, made me really specifically recollect the final two words Mickey Hart said on stage at Fairly Well in 2015, which is it's two words, be kind.
Yeah.
And that's that that what I'm hearing is that the loyalty that you speak of is your reciprocity for the trust that is
Oh,
given
yeah.
to you.
That's literally my mantra is be kind, be compassionate, work hard, do it daily. And that last part, that's the hardest part. To do it every day, no
Mm,
matter what. Like, hey, you got to go to work.
yep.
You got to do this crappy day job. You got to do this. Like you're having problems over here, problems over there. Doesn't matter. You got to do it and do it with compassion and kindness. And that's so hard. It's easy to say.
It's easy to say, but when you're a driving factor in so many things like being a producer of a festival, working with the social media, helping with you know, production at the bunker, helping with production at local nation, when you're doing all of those things, like what is it in you that allows you to find that capacity for kindness and for compassion in what you do to allow that last element to be true, even though it's the hardest to achieve? Well, like, well, what is it that really makes that tick for you?
I just feel like this world would be so much better if we just, you know, push on. There's this should be easy. It's music and art. It should be easy. I have no idea how everything got so convoluted. I mean, seriously, like when you really look at it, like this should be easy.
It shouldn't take you and I having a
Yeah.
conversation about this for the message of kindness to translate.
Yeah,
It's important that we are, but I hear what you're saying, that the is it a bit of a frustration with the idea that kindness isn't reflected as much in the industry as you'd like it to see, and that helps drive you?
it's becoming more, and I'm very apparent of it, but it's when other people remind me that that's not the case. You know, like that there's other people that have gone further up the ladder in the entertainment industry and have explained to me what has happened to them.
Well, and the good that you do outweighs that
Yeah,
counterbalance on uncertainty. I mean, you all these things, like giving a platform to up and coming bands, to a live audience in a professional studio, working to create single day festivals or multi-day events or recurring events that feature local talent. Eh, all of these, the charity work, all of these are exemplifications of almost internalizing that negative sensibility and regurgitating it in, in positivity. Positive bile. That's a great name for a band.
positive bile.
So you're out of the relative Lombard area, which for our listeners and viewers who don't know are the west suburbs of Chicago. What's going on out there? What are you making happen in the local music scene out there?
Well, I'm currently hosting an open mic with my friend Zachary Sonny Edwards. He was about to say, unfortunately, he fortunately got picked up by a band that's touring around, Daisy Chain. So he's not going to be with me for like a month and a half. But thank
What was the history there?
him and I just well, actually, this is a really cute and funny story.
Yeah,
I
fantastic.
part of that whole thing where I was going around just on social media trying to find like-minded people, and he literally I have no idea how I found him, but I saw him and I went out to his gig and I walked up to him and said, "Hi, I'm Brian. Would you like some percussion and or some photos?"
The that being able to offer the range
Yeah.
is what it's all, that secondhand talent to a T.
Yeah, it was at the
Absolutely.
studio in Lockport. It's a smaller place. It's not like I went to like a huge music venue and like interrupted stuff. It was just like, hey,
Right. Like
I'm
this
just
is a bumping into.
yeah, I'm just playing some
Yeah,
hand
yeah.
percussion. Would
Sure,
you
sure,
like
sure,
some?
sure.
And yeah, uh, that was it. And that started a very long friendship between him and myself. And we eventually started this open mic about 2 years and 4 months ago. Who's counting? Uh, and it was really like for the community because it's a lot of
You mean 28 months.
yeah, 28 months, something like that. Who's counting? Um, but yeah, it's really for the community because quite honestly, like if of all the stuff I do, this is the hardest to run a successful open mic because there's so much going on. You never know who's going to show up. You never know what level of talent is going to show up.
You say that, and I resemble that remark. I've had plenty of experiences running open mics, and it is, for anybody who thinks it's easy, it's just like, oh, list an open mic and people will show up. No, the organization of it is so detailed and nuanced that I mean, talk a little bit about what it's like to run a successful open mic.
Well, between the
Because yours has been going on for a couple of years. I mean,
yeah,
I would
and
call
we've
that
we've
a
had our ups,
successful
we've had our
open
ups
mic
and
venture.
downs. We've had times where we totally packed a place with like 80 people, and then there's times where almost nobody shows up. And I work very closely with the owner, and it's a hard thing to do because if you're very successful and a bunch of musicians or people that want to come out to play music, if they come out and they're not able to, then they're
Mm.
going to be discouraged from coming. So you literally have to foster an environment that's conducive towards listening and participating at the same time.
So have you come across situations where there are people in town and you have to get them on stage in order to make sure that it's like copacetic environment for them,
Not
or
necessarily in town. I've tried doing hybrid things where I have people like quote unquote like sign up online, but then again, I have an actual sign up time. So if there's people that are already there, they have precedence over the people that contacted me online, and then you're trying to,
so that's kind of what I'm more keenly familiar with, is having the in-person sign up being that what takes precedence
yeah,
over
that
any sort of, electronic
that does. But
communication.
if
Yeah.
there's nobody there, I try to reach out to people, and it's just it's very difficult. Also because sometimes it's more of a singer-songwriter night where these are just people looking to work on their own personal songs, and they don't want any kind of interaction. They don't want anyone like playing with them.
They're just kind of their workshop,
Yeah.
kind of like how J Jill, the secondhand dog, is workshopping part of the set right now. This is actually Jill in frame, not CGI. We can't afford that. That is Jill, the secondhand dog.
What a good dog.
Ladies and gentlemen, making her first official appearance in a secondhand talent episode, which is crazily the finale. It's amazing she hasn't been here before.
But yeah, it's difficult because there's some open mics that it's people jamming, people collaborating, people with bringing their original music.
So is it a sign up, but also like an open stage format? Like, is it a kind of like hybrid of the two, where like people who want to play can come up and play, or is it
So
like
so what I do is I get to know everyone that walks in the door. That's it. It's because there was a lot of drummers that would just like show up and just sit in the corner, and then they would feel like I left them out. So I wanted to make sure, and this was a while ago that I came to this conclusion, that I wanted to make sure that I included everyone, even if they weren't even a musician, because we've had people sometimes that just are phenomenal singers, or maybe
Well, I
just,
was gonna say, what if I came and I wanted to like sing a particular
yeah.
song and the people knew how to play it?
No,
And
so I find the people to play. I know
see, I love that. I
I
love
know
that
the guitar
because
players that are in the room, and I figure out who can play it, and then I
is
find a solid drummer and a solid bass player that can.
I would love, because it's not about exactly in those environments, it's not about exactly playing the song to a T.
No,
It's about being able to do it so that people have fun.
yeah,
And I
absolutely.
love that mentality and approach to it.
Yeah, you definitely need a solid drummer. You definitely need if there is a bass player, you need a solid bass
You
player
need the
that can follow it.
backbeat.
Yep. And from there, it's just like dynamics, making sure people aren't too loud, and that's a very tricky thing. But we've had some amazing experiences, especially with and this is something I do want to talk about. We've had several hip hop rap artists that come in, and they want to do this. They want to do backing tracks. And what we've done was encourage them to play with a band.
Huh.
This is a lot of the reason why a lot of hip hop artists don't do well in smaller venues because they just have the backing tracks.
It's just kind of them or
But
one or two other
yeah, but
people up there, as opposed to, as a hip hop fan, I appreciate hip hop with a live band so much more.
Yeah.
than I do. I mean, and not to say that I don't appreciate solo hip hop performances, but I appreciate the freedom. I want to give a shout out, Chica, best Tiny Desk concert I've ever seen. You know, shout out to you for bringing your band and that you had on the album into NPR Tiny Desk Studios and showing out what it means to be a rapper with a band that is fucking there. I mean, just fucking on it and encouraging that step out is,
Oh,
I
absolutely.
love that.
Like to encourage the hip hop artists, if anyone knows how to just, like, because we would be like, just tell us a tempo
Yeah,
and give us a general feel
right,
for what's going on.
right.
And some people can, some people can't. I'm okay with that. And also we're okay with playing backing tracks, but it never sounds right.
But to get no, but to give the like even if a backing track is chosen, and that's an important point, is to say that like, hey, we'll acquiesce. But to just encourage and foster that idea of, hey, we wanna play with you, not around you,
Yeah. Yeah.
is and let people who may have not or stepped out of that box try it if they feel open to it. Like, I think that's massively important.
Yeah, we had a band from Joliet coming up. So two hip hop artists, they write all their own stuff, got them a band together, sound phenomenal. They actually played the Homegrown Arts and Music Festival last year. And at that time, we had never had a hip hop artist ever at that festival. And I truly believe that it's because we were able to find them a band to play with them as opposed to, just backing tracks. And
Well,
there's nothing wrong with backing tracks.
no, that's the thing is
It's how
that
the
like
musicians play around
it's
those.
it's not just how the musician plays around those though. It's about how you're truly incorporating hip hop into the music setting as we appreciate it. And I'm not saying again that we don't appreciate hip hop. It's been established in episodes before. I mean, I grew up on hip hop, but to be able again to provide that backing band and to be able to provide that musical experimentation,
Oh, absolutely.
like that in and of itself is supportive in a way that's almost unquantifiable.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, Brian, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the
Oh, this has been
show.
great. Thank you so much. What a
I,
wonderful place. God, there's so much like art, so much original art. Like I'm looking around at stuff. You can see me looking around at it, but you can't see it. But if you were here, you would see all of the wonderful artwork, all the original artwork.
um,
It's really been a magical experience. Thank you so much
well,
for having me.
one day we're gonna do a full art tour, and everybody will be able to see what's
There you
going
go.
on. But the art is always the people who join me in these interviews, and I really, truly could not have anticipated or planned a better interview to wrap out season three.
Yeah,
It's
season three.
it's the season three finale. This was it with Brian Christian Adam. Thank you again
Thank you.
so much to Sweet Buzz for sponsoring today's episode. Thank you to Tenacious Toys for providing us with desk candy for the last three seasons. We love you, Benny. Thank you so much. Thank you to all of my guests who have been on the show. Thank you to all the guests who will be on for season four, release date coming. We just filmed a movie with Bodhicitta. We've got so many incredible things to share with you, but I would be remiss not to finish off with a thank you to
Thank you.
Brian. And are there any thoughts or words you'd like to leave us off with?
Oh, this is very simple. To all the humans out there watching this
Or listening?
or listening, that's correct. There's three very simple things. Please be kind. Please be compassionate. Please work hard and do it daily. Thanks, guys.
Be kind, be compassionate, and work hard daily. I think
Yeah.
those are
Or at least try. Do your best attempt. You can fail every day, but maybe a little bit better every day.
A little bit better
A little
every
bit
day
better.
is everything we aim
Just a
to
little.
be. Um, just a final note before we leave season three, for everybody who's listening and watching, this has been a massive growing experience for myself and for Steiner. And on behalf of both of us, we could not do it without all of you. And thank you. Thank you so much. We cannot wait to share with you more information about what's coming up with season four. And can't wait to continue shining the spotlights on the people who shine the spotlights. For Steiner, this is Secondhand Talent. We love you, and we'll see you next fucking season. That's a podcast. There we go. That's it. That's it. We're done.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great job.